Alright, part 3 of the Chapter 7 review. We are looking at graphs of circles. Now, I've already got the notes in here from when we did them in class, but we didn't have a video at the time, and it won't hurt to just read through them and just make sure we understand what's going on. So, a circle, the basic equation is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. R is the radius. This would give me a circle with a center at 0, 0 at the origin. And you can see there in the little graph what it looks like. How does the equation work? Well, we went through a little explanation of what it is. How do we remember what a circle is? It's every point that's equidistant from a point in space. If that point was the origin, then this point here on the circumference, xy, would be made up of an x coordinate in red and a y coordinate in blue. If this radius is 4, then I could use Pythagoras to say x squared plus y squared equaled 4 squared. And that will give me all of the points that are 4 units from the origin. So we talked through that there, and for that one would be x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared, or just 16. And that's how we built up the general equation, just using Pythagoras' theorem, and realizing that that would be any point that was 4 units away, would just follow Pythagoras' theorem. How else could we come up with the center of a circle? What about if it's h and k? Well, we thought about the turning point of our parabola. See how subtracting a number from x shifted it to the right? And remember I mentioned in the last video that this plus k, if I put it on the other side and made it y minus k, that too would be shifting it in the opposite direction. So if it was y minus k squared, that would shift it down rather than up. Or sorry, minus k would shift it up rather than down. Just as the same way minusing h shifts it to the right, not to the left. So what we end up with is this general rule, and that's the rule you're going to need to know. For a circle with a center hk and a radius r, the equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And it's pretty easy after that to come up with any of your answers. We've got a little example here that we did. X squared plus y squared equals 9. Where's the center? Well, this time there's nothing being subtracted from x or y, so the center is the origin, 0, 0. The radius, remember this is r squared, that 9, so the square root of 9, 3. Find the values when x equals 2. So if I substitute in 2, I've got y squared equals 5, so y is plus or minus root 5. Remember, that's the shortcut way. How would I like you to do it? Go ahead. Don't know what that was doing there. I hope you've been able to see the whole time. Go ahead and set it equal to 0 and use your favourite rule in maths. That's the safer way of making sure you get both answers. But you can just go to plus or minus root 5 if you think you're going to remember. Find the values of x when y equals 3 over 2. That was a bit nasty of them, but easy enough. Replace y with 3 over 2, square it, subtract x squared minus 27 over 4. Favourite rule in maths, square root of 27. Remember, root 27 would be root 9 times root 3, so it'd be 3 root 3. So that's how I got negative 3 root 3 over 2, or 3 root 3 over 2. Wow, that was pretty quick, wasn't it? It's only 3 minutes to do that. Let's look at an example ourselves. That's what we need to remember. Left or right is by that hk, up and left or right by h, up and down by k, radius r, that changes the radius. That's all we needed to remember. What beautiful colour scheme I chose to do that. Let's do one of these complicated ones. Let's sketch from 14 here. X plus 1 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared equals 4. Let's go ahead and see how that works. Give ourselves a bit of room. Not quite that much. That looks good. So what do I need to do for this one? Well, I just state the turning point first of all. X minus h, now that would be the same as x minus negative 1. So the x coordinate of the turning point is negative 1. The y coordinate of the turning point, it's y minus k. K is 2. So I've got my turning point at negative 1, 2. And r squared equals 4. So my radius equals 2. Note that a radius has to be positive, so that's why I'm not bothering to do the completing the square there. It didn't look like a 2 because I underlined on top of the 2. There we go, that's a bit better. So, quick sketch of this. Shouldn't be too hard at all. Let's see if I can make it look a little bit prettier and use the built-in drawing functions. That'll make it look nicer. So, negative 1 and 2 and a radius of 2. So it's going to be just touching the axis there. isn't it? You can see it's just going to touch here because if it's 2 up and the radius is 2, then it's going to just touch there. It's going to go through the other points pretty easily. What do I need to label? -1, 2. Label the equation, x plus 1 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared equals 4. Label my axes, x and y. And we're pretty much done. Let's say I was being really nasty and told you I wanted the intercepts. Well, this intercept here is okay. We know that that's at x equals -1, and you can check it if I substitute in -1. I'm going to get y minus, when y equals 0, I substitute in 0, and I'm going to get -2 squared is 4, so I'm going to have 4 equals 4. So the only way I can get that to work is if x is -1, because then that would make that bracket 0. So that's why there's only one x-intercept. The y-intercepts, I'm going to let x equal 0 to find the y-intercepts. So I would have 1 squared plus y take 2 squared equals 4. I'm going to subtract that 1, so I've got y minus 2 squared equals 3. Y minus 2 all squared minus 3. I really should have just subtracted the 4 first, shouldn't I? That would have saved me a lot of work. Doesn't matter, we get there in the end. Favourite rule in maths, y minus 2 plus the square root of 3. Y minus 2 minus the square root of 3 equals 0. And now you see why we don't always ask for them, because it gets a bit complicated. Y would equal 2 take root 3 if I let the first bracket equal 0, or if this bracket was to equal 0, y would have to equal 2 plus root 3. Pretty messy, but you could label them in there and you'd have them. That's sketching them. Could we really ask you to do anything complicated? Maybe. Maybe you'd need to, get them from a general form into the factorized form, but that's about all. So anyway, good luck with those. You should find they're not too bad. Again, send me some questions if you're stuck on one. And I'm going to see you in the next one when we have a look at, I think it's going to be exponential functions next. See you then. Cheers.